What if I told you the first person to break the sound barrier did it with 2 broken ribs and a piece of a broomstick? Stay until the end to discover how a West Virginia farm boy became the fastest human alive. October 13th, 1947. High above the Mojave Desert, a young test pilot named Chuck Yeager climbs into the belly of a B-29 bomber. Attached underneath is a rocket plane called the Bell X-1, painted bright orange and shaped like a .50 caliber bullet. Yeager's mission? Break the sound barrier. Fly faster than the speed of sound itself. It's something many scientists believe is impossible. They call it the sound barrier for a reason. Some think hitting it will tear an aircraft apart. Pilots have died trying. At around 700 miles per hour, strange things happen to aircraft. Controls stop responding. Wings shake violently. Planes become uncontrollable. It's like hitting an invisible wall in the sky, and nobody knows what's on the other side. But here's what makes this day even more incredible. 2 nights earlier, Yeager went horseback riding with his wife, Glennis. He fell off and broke 2 ribs. 2 broken ribs. The pain is so bad, he can barely lift his right arm, and he definitely can't close the cockpit hatch of the X-1 by himself. Any sensible person would postpone the flight, but Chuck Yeager isn't flying a desk. He's a 24-year-old former fighter ace who shot down 13 German planes in World War II. He's not about to let broken ribs stop him from making history. So he does something brilliantly simple. He tells only one person, his engineer friend Jack Ridley, about the injury. Together, they cut a piece off a broomstick. Yeager uses it as a lever to close the X-1's hatch. Problem solved, West Virginia style. At 20,000 feet, the B-29 releases the X-1. Yeager drops like a stone, then fires the rocket engines. The little orange plane shoots forward, climbing toward 40,000 feet. He's burning through fuel at an incredible rate. He has only a few minutes of powered flight. The needle on his Mach meter climbs. Mach, 0.88, 0.92, 0.96. The plane shakes. The controls feel strange. Then something extraordinary happens. The shaking stops. The plane smooths out. The needle hits Mach 1.06. Chuck Yeager is flying faster than sound itself, 700 miles per hour. He's punched through the so-called barrier, and the plane is flying beautifully. There is no wall, just smooth, supersonic flight. On the ground, observers hear a loud boom roll across the desert. It's the first human-made sonic boom in history. The sound of someone breaking the laws that everyone said couldn't be broken. Here's the wild part. The flight is classified, top secret. Yeager can't tell anyone. For months, the fastest man alive has to keep quiet about it. The Air Force finally announces it in June 1948, 8 months later. But the impact? Immediate and permanent. Yeager proves that supersonic flight isn't just possible, it's controllable. Within a few years, the sound barrier will go from impossible to routine. Fighter jets are designed to go supersonic. Commercial aircraft push faster and faster. The X-1 that Yeager flew now hangs in the Smithsonian, right next to the Wright brothers plane and Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis. 3 aircraft that each redefined what humans could do in the sky. And Yeager? He keeps flying, keeps testing. He becomes the first commandant of the Air Force's Test Pilot School. He trains the astronauts who will eventually break another barrier and go to the moon. By the time he retires, he's logged over 10,000 flight hours in more than 300 different aircraft. In 2012, at age 89, Yeager flew in an F-15 to commemorate the 65th anniversary of his sound barrier flight. Because once you've broken the impossible, you don't really stop. So what can we learn from a guy who broke the sound barrier with broken ribs and a broomstick? Sometimes the obstacles that stop us aren't as solid as they seem. Sometimes what everyone says is impossible is just waiting for someone stubborn enough to try. Yeager didn't have a college degree. He wasn't a scientist or an engineer. He was a farm kid from West Virginia who learned to fly in the Army. But he had something more important than credentials. He had guts, creativity, and a refusal to accept limits. The sound barrier was real, the danger was real, but the impossibility, that was just in people's minds. And minds can change faster than the speed of sound. What's your sound barrier? What invisible wall are you facing that everyone says you can't break through? Drop your story in the comments. The History Sparks community loves hearing about people who refuse to accept the impossible. If stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things inspire you, smash that subscribe button and join the History Sparks family. We're breaking through the untold stories of history every day. Thanks for watching, and remember, impossible is just the speed you haven't reached yet.